Niantic responds to incorrect Pokemon Go revenue report for April 2023. So, of all of the things that Niantic could have responded to, especially and most importantly, community concerns and valid criticisms from the Pokemon Go fanbase, they decide to almost immediately respond to something that has to do with their revenue. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, should send a very clear signal as to what their priorities really truly are. So let's get into this. Niantic called recent reports that Pokemon Go earned a record low in monthly earnings during April 2023 incorrect and offered different information. Is this going to be different information, or is this going to be cope? We will just have to wait and see. And not just cope, but denial as well. And denial is a very, very ugly thing, especially when reality is reality. Following turbulent times in the Pokemon Go community, a report from mobilegamer.biz reported that Pokemon Go's revenue was at a record low during April 2023. Many were unsurprised by these reports, as April saw mass reports of fan boycotts for in-app purchases and in-game events, with some even uninstalling the mobile game altogether. Now, Pokemon Go developer Niantic has commented on these reports and called them incorrect and assured fans that the company's revenue was in the green. Okay, assured fans, are you sure that you're trying to assure your fans, or are you trying to assure yourselves, i.e. trying to inhale that copium? Or are you trying to assure your investors that put their money and their faith in you and your products? Because honestly, I'm sure, Niantic, your investors would love to see how you've been treating your fans progressively worse and worse and worse as time ticks on, especially as evident as ever in the recent events and the recent weeks. I'm sure your investors would love to find out that your profits are at a very, very low point. And that's not the only thing that is low in this situation. The community morale is at an all-time low, thanks to Niantic. There's a massive decline in raids, thanks to Niantic. So, I mean, you know what? All of this right here definitely lines up. So I find it really hard to believe that Niantic has this revolutionary information that is going to disprove and invalidate financial reports that state otherwise. The news came from Eurogamer, who reached out to Niantic for comment following mobilegamer.biz's reporting. Surprisingly, a Niantic spokesperson responded to a request for comment and said, "We generally don't comment on third-party estimates of our revenue, as they are often incorrect," which is the case here. Our revenue so far in 2023 is up on last year. Okay, so you want to talk about how your revenue is up this year in comparison to last year. How about we actually see some proof to back up that claim? I also love how they try to go by yearly instead of by monthly. Of course, revenue in general in 2023 thus far is up from last year. I mean, prior to the shit show that took place in recent weeks, there were a lot of things going on in Pokemon Go. A lot of new releases, a lot of people were hyped. There were events. People were obviously buying into those events. There were raid events going on that people were buying into, while remote raids were still very much alive and well. So, of course, revenue so far is going to be looking good this year, but you fail to acknowledge what is going on monthly, because it's only been a few weeks since the remote raid pass changes went live. So, of course, revenue is going to go down, but you don't want to say that verbatim. You don't want to acknowledge that verbatim there, do you, Niantic? It's no surprise to hear Niantic is eager to distance itself from the report, as companies aren't usually keen to confirm they have seen a loss in revenue. And that right there reeks of desperation. In fact, Woo! It reeks so bad, you can smell it from miles, baby. They have a public image to try and maintain, so of course they're going to try and put themselves over. Of course they are going to try and do massive damage control, even in the face of this continued controversy that they cause. Of course they're going to respond to something that puts their reputation and their finances into question, but they choose to completely remain silent and ignore valid community concerns and criticisms even to this very day. And it all doesn't just relate back to the remote raid pass nerfs. There are a lot of other issues as well with the game that are still taking place even to this very day, and Niantic has not made a single peep about it. Still, it's important to note that the statement did not outright deny that April 2023 saw record lows, just that 2023 earnings as a whole are still positive. Positive, but for how much longer is the question. What's more, Niantic also responded to questions about whether the recent revenue report was linked to the controversial remote raid pass changes. Oh, this is going to be good. Niantic said, "We don't focus on month-to-month trends because they fluctuate based on major live events. This year's changes have already increased in-person rating, and we're excited to introduce exciting new features over the coming months." Wow, that is such a tone-deaf response. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? So, let me get this straight. So, you want to talk about an increase in in-person rating. No shit there's going to be an increase in in-person rating because you took remote raid passes away pretty much in its entirety. I mean, yeah, sure, they're still there, but you nearly doubled them in prices. You can only use 5 a day. You can only do 5 remote raids a day. So of course people are going to have no other choice but to default to in-person raiding. That is just, oh my god, that is not only tone deaf, but that is cringy as hell. But you know what? It's on brand for Niantic. Naturally, making it much harder to raid remotely would, in turn, increase in-person raiding. No shit! No shit! With 2 conflicting reports to go off of, whether or not fans believe April 2023 was a negative earnings month for Niantic is another matter entirely. Well, until Niantic can supplement actual proof to disprove the supposed incorrect financial reports for April 2023, I am more inclined to believe that there is a revenue drop. I am more inclined to believe the financial reports that exposes the millions upon millions of dollars lost from Niantic. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me whatsoever that they tried to make all of these statements to deny what is going on. But how about some proof? How about you actually show the financial reports to disprove the supposed incorrect information? You know what I'm saying? The burden of proof is on you, Niantic. It seems clear Niantic is confident that recent changes will not affect the company's bottom line in the months ahead. Confident. Really, Niantic? Are you confident, or are you trying to feign confidence, but really, you know deep down that you are losing control. You are damaged goods. And it's about damn time that you acknowledge your player base and acknowledge the fact that without them, Pokemon Go would just be another flash in the pan that would have been dead within a year. Wow, that video went on a little bit longer than intended, but I guess I really had a lot to say about this, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? Before we wrap up this video, I do need to make a clarification on something. With the amount of videos that I've been doing on this subject, I want the absolute best for Pokemon Go and its player base. These videos are criticizing Niantic primarily, and of course by extension Pokemon Go because it's their product. But I want to see Pokemon Go alive and well for years to come. I want to see Pokemon Go go as strong as ever before, because I know that there are a lot of passionate Pokemon Go players out there, and if there were to be a massive turnaround, whether it's Niantic getting their shit together, or if an entirely new company was to actually take over for Pokemon Go, I would almost guarantee that there would be an increase in returning players. So contrary to how my videos may or may not come off, I don't want Pokemon Go to die, okay? Because that would make a lot of people very miserable, and I would be one of those people, because I, even to this very day, still hold a lot of near and dear memories in my heart, and it would be really sad to see Pokemon Go actually close its doors. I don't want to see Pokemon Go die. I want to see the best for Pokemon Go and the players, like I said. So hopefully that gives a little bit more clarification and personal context as to why I keep up with these videos. Niantic need to be held accountable, and that is not going to stop until exactly that happens, one way or another. So now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is truly going to be a wrap-up for this video. So I want to say thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for your time as well in viewing this video. Have yourself a damn good one, you beautiful people. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you next time.